the Titans, the division is ours. I don't care what Houston did yesterday. They're going to go get their Letterman jackets again. The Indianapolis Colts are 2-6 against the Titans since Pat McAfee came up here and did his wrestling announcement. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, they haven't had back-to-back winning seasons since I was a senior in high school.
What's up, Titans fans? Maximus Titan Fan here. The Titans Fan Battle Podcast brought to you by the Fan Battle Sports Network. And with me is my co-host, Tyler.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Tyler.
Yes, sir. Titan _always 22 on Twitter. My name is Tyler. That's pretty much all you need to know today. Titans football tomorrow, baby. We here. We are here, finally.
Yes. I am excited as well. Although I do come with mixed emotions tonight because if you guys notice, we are missing a member of our team. Flame had to take a leave of absence, and right now it's indefinite. So we don't know if he's going to come back or not. He's always welcome to come back. You might see him, in specials or just, pop up here and there, whatever. But we love you, Flame. We miss you. We wish you were on every night with us, man. But we understand sometimes life gets in the way. And you got to take care of what's yours.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Now the exciting part. Football season's here. Well, preseason. And I'm kind of a dork. So especially when it comes to football, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to everything. But football, I'm just ultimately invested in. It's a huge part of my life. So I love watching everybody, man. I get excited about watching the second, third, fourth stringer. I get excited about people that probably aren't even going to make the team, but I love to watch them play. I'm just an old football guy, I mean, I got a coach's mentality because, I see my kids. I want everybody to succeed, even if it's not with our team. So I want you to do as well as you can while you're on the stage. With that in mind, we'll talk about some people that we think are going to be there, some people that we think aren't going to be there. On offense, obviously, I don't think any of the main starters are gonna play. We might see Treylon Burks, or maybe some Chig, but the offensive line will play.
Yeah,
rephrase that. Starting offensive line is going to start the game, I assume, or I would if it was my team. So I would expect the Titans to do that. But as far as like D-Hop, nah. Treylon, probably not. Tannehill, absolutely not. Derrick Henry, absolutely not. So there you go, So, but we get to see Tajay Spears. We're probably going to see Hassan Haskins, maybe some Julius Chestnut. And in the wide receivers, we're going to see a lot of Kyle Phillips, NWI, Chris Moore. I expect Chris Moore and NWI probably to start with Kyle Phillips in the slot. I think that's probably how they'll play it. And like I said, offensive line starting. Probably going to see Josh Wiley some in this game with Trayvon Wesco. I think Trayvon Wesco is probably going to play. But that, I think, is pretty much rounds out your offense as far as the starting offense goes. What do you think, Tyler? You think I've got it right? You think I'm missing somebody?
I think you got it pretty right. I know I'm ready to see Josh Wiley and see what he does. I'm excited, man. I hope he comes out balling so bad. I mean, his stature is a lot like Austin Hooper. So if he gives us that type of production behind Chig, not Titans Austin Hooper, let me rephrase that, before he got to the Titans last year, if we can get prime Austin Hooper out of him, our tight end game is set, and maybe we don't have to see too much of Wesco other than run situations. I don't think we'll see too much of Brunskill, however you say his name, the right guard. That guy is pretty much solidified. He's good. The rest of the offensive line, we're probably going to see for a little while, I would imagine, when we need to. Bad. They need to get some cohesiveness going. Other than that, I really don't. I don't think we'll see too much of NWI myself, because what does he really have to prove at this point? You know, I mean, I think Moore and him and Chris Moore are going to go at it, but I don't think we'll see too much of NWI, because he's gonna play. He's gonna play a good bit this year, so we know what he can do. I think I would rather see Racy McMath more than NWI in the preseason, just to see what he's going to do, see if he's improved any. Hopefully he has the stature of a Pro Bowl wide receiver, but for some reason he can't put it all together. So I would love to see him and see what he's going to do. On the offense, though, other than that, we're going to see a lot of backups and a very conservative game plan. We're not going to see a lot of good calls. I don't think we're going to see too much. We're talking about Mike Vrabel here, and Vrabes won't even tell us who the quarterback is yet, man. It's the day before the game. We still don't even know who's starting the first preseason game. So
I love that. I love that you just naturally helped me segue right into where I was leading into, is that I did not mention, if anybody was paying attention, who was going to start at quarterback, because I wanted to do the game. Yeah. Who do you think? I mean, they've been very tight-lipped about it. Obviously, I think everybody has the same idea of who's going to start.
Yeah.
But just curious, who do you think is going to start?
Malik. I don't see another way, because Malik is it's his second season in the system, and even though it's a new offensive coordinator, we're in the same type of system. So I think Malik's going to start. The real question to me is, are we going to see quarter for quarter? Are we going to see 2 drives at a time? Are we going to see half for half? How are they going to switch them back and forth is what I really want to see.
That's a good, that's actually a good thought. Quarter to quarter. I like quarter to quarter, I think, better than half to half.
Yeah.
I like that a lot better. Because then you get to see them both against the number ones or whatever, or at least whatever they're putting out as the number one. I can't believe the Bears are starting, according to the Bears, they're starting Justin Fields, everybody pretty much. I mean, like, they're holding back, I think, 2 starters, I think, out of the whole team. I don't know. I read some quick stuff before I got online. I honestly did not research this enough, guys. I apologize. I don't have a lot to say about our opponents. It's a preseason game. I'm talking about our team. Yeah. When we get into the season, then I'll start doing my homework and studying and finding their weaknesses and strengths and stuff, and we'll talk about all that. But right now, we're just talking about who we're excited to see. And if you're a fantasy football lover, which I am, I absolutely love playing fantasy football.
Yes, sir.
If you're a fantasy football guy, you need to be watching these preseason games and keeping your eyes out for those rookies that are going to break out. Now, this is the teller right here, and this is how you pick up those guys on waiver wire that's going to help you down the road, or maybe even be amazing this season. Nobody knew, you know what I mean? Nobody's looking at them. Get them late draft. Anyway, beyond that. We'll move on to defense. I think pretty much, obviously I don't think Jeffrey Simmons starts. I don't think Autry plays. I think Tier Tart will. I think that'll be the only starter on the line, maybe other than Naquan Jones. He might play some too. But I think we're going to see Rashad Weaver on the line.
I'm scared.
I think that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
I honestly think that Arden Key, Aziz Al-Shire, and Sean Murphy Bunting, I think they all play. I don't think Christian Fulton does.
I wouldn't.
I'm just saying, with his injury history, I wouldn't put him out there.
No need, not at all. Wrap him in bubble wrap and let's get him to week 1 of the regular season. I don't want to see him until then.
Yeah, I'll let McCreary take the other starting spot. So it'll be McCreary and Sean Murphy Bunting, and neither one of my starting safeties are going to play if I'm the coach. Neither one of those guys need practice. I mean, we saw Monty Hooker 2 different days in practice come up with acrobatic interceptions. He's good. We all know the mayor's good, so no need to even mess around there. Like I said, I think all the linebackers start except for Harold Landry. I don't think you start Harold Landry. I think you go ahead and I don't know. I lean both ways on that one because I'm a believer in, knocking the dirt off, knocking the rust off, whatever you want to call it, getting back in your groove. And I feel like reps is how you get there. So I don't like holding him out until, the last preseason game and then only letting him play 1 quarter of that game. I hate that idea. But I also don't like the idea of him starting and playing a half of every preseason game either. I hate that idea too. So I don't know. I'm kind of wishy-washy on that one.
I kind of miss the days of first week the starters play the first quarter, second week they play the first half, and then the third week they play the first half and the first drive of the second half, and then the backups play the rest of the time. Like, where did that time go? That we just kind of switched to like, okay, we're not going to play the starters hardly at all during the preseason. And they took a preseason game away and everything, and we still see less of the starters. So I don't know.
When they started making $100 million contracts.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
People were like, "Hey, man, that guy's worth $100 million. He can't be playing in a game that doesn't matter." No. So, I mean, I think that's where that comes into play. But I'm just really interested in seeing some of these backups get a chance. There's some interesting backups in my opinion that I'm really excited to see if they play Elijah Molden at safety. I think he's going to start at one of the safety positions. I think that's really awesome, personally.
Yeah.
I like Trey Avery. I'd like to see what he does on defense. On offense, I'm really excited to see Jalen Duncan and see what he's made of. I'm excited to see punt return. I don't really care who it is. I just want to see a good one. I don't care if it's Mason Kinsey or Tajay Spear. I don't care who it is. Just make a really good punt return for me in the game. That will please me.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll settle for them catching the ball, and that's it.
Just downing it.
Just catch it.
Just catch the ball.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, honestly, that after the Kyle Phillips thing, there was more than just Kyle Phillips last year, wasn't it?
It was like 2 or 3
did we have
people. Like 3? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it got to the point to where we were putting our number 1 wide receiver, Robert Woods, back there to return punts because we just wanted it to just secure the ball.
Yeah, just catch it. Yeah. But I think, man, I really want to see Kearis Jackson return kicks and punts. Because in college, he returned kicks. So he obviously has some type of capability with it. And he's decent. So let's see what he can do there. And if he's a special teams gunner, man, that might be his roster spot right there. So I'm excited to see Kearis Jackson too.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too. That's another big one that I'm excited. And everybody knows I have a love affair with Colton Dowell, but he hasn't had a great camp. And that disappoints me, but it is what it is. I'd love to see him get in a game. Some people are like that. Some people don't practice well or have good practices, but they play good in games. I don't know if you remember Kendall Wright.
Yep.
But he was football smarts. He was dumber than a box of rocks. I mean, I love you, Kendall. Don't get me wrong, bro. You are a baller. You still are in my eyes, but your football intelligence wasn't there, man. They literally, after he left the team, they talked about how they didn't give him a route tree. They were just like, just get open.
Yeah. I mean, he did get open.
And he did. Yeah. Oh, yeah. On regular occasion, he got open. Yeah. He was very intelligent on where the zones were. and how to sit in the zone well. He was
See,
really good at that.
Who was his quarterback? Was he in the Kerry Collins, Vince Young days, or Zach Mettenberger
I was gonna
and Brett
say
Barker?
Vince Young. I think he might have seen. No, I don't think he saw Kerry Collins, but definitely Vince Young for sure.
Yeah. So with those types of quarterbacks throwing him the ball, he still did really well. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm also interested. I'm sorry. I'm also interested in seeing Chris Hubbard.
Yeah.
I want to see how he does. You know, I, I hate to say this. Okay, I don't know if y'all follow me everywhere. You should if you don't. But on Twitter, actually, I think everywhere I pretty much released it. But I released a video about the Oilers jerseys simply because, man, I've heard so much crap from Texans fans about those Oilers jerseys. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of hearing about it. And so I put out a video that basically just said, just get over it. It is what it is. Sometimes you just got to live with it. Like, us not winning the division last year. It is what it is. I think it was a bullcrap call, but it is what it is.
Right.
I get over it. Just done with it. You know what I'm saying? But they were irritating me, so I put the video out. And did you watch the game last night?
I watched bits and pieces of it. Yeah, like I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I watched some though. I watched enough to see Stroud struggle.
Yeah,
In his
man.
first couple drives. So
I was gonna say struggle is a nice word.
Yeah,
I was gonna say he just flat out pooped the bed, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing, but man,
Yeah.
if that's, I hope that was just like some nerves or something. Because if it isn't, then the Texans are in trouble.
I hope that's a sign of things to come for 4 years, man. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I do not want the Texans to succeed at all. So,
but I will say that I also put out another tweet today that I really enjoyed after reading it 2 or 3 times to myself. But I hope so much that Malik Willis does better than CJ Stroud.
Yes.
So that
Please.
I can just gloat over that for a good while.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to be like, yeah, well, Malik Willis outplayed your guy. So.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think he's our eventual third stringer. I don't think I would love it. Or I don't know. Again, I'm wishy-washy on that one too. I would like it, but then again, I wouldn't. I would like it because I feel like it would show that Levis's progression has gotten great, and that means that he's a step above. But I would also like to see Malik, just because I like the underdog. I mean, I always root for the underdog. I can't help it. And the first quarterback to be drafted from your college, yeah, man, I'm rooting for you, dude. There was an interview. Did you see there was an interview in the practice right at the end of training camp where they were talking to him about, what's different between this year and last year? Can he tell a difference? And, did he see like his own progression? And he basically said something about like, or was it different or something like that coming out of college than it is coming into your second year? And he was like, yeah, in college, I didn't call plays in the huddle. I mean, like, it was almost like, that's a stupid question. Yeah, of course it's different, man. I mean, I've been actually doing, real football for a year instead of, high school or college football, where you just call a 22 route or a hot route or whatever. And you're just telling whoever's open, shoot it. You got 1 progression, 2 progression, run.
Yeah. And then you're at Liberty too. So your defenses you're playing are not elite at all. So he went to Auburn, I think his freshman year. So he saw something in the SEC, but if you're not in the SEC or Big Ten in college football, you're not seeing elite defenses, and especially at Liberty, which is not even Power 5. So yeah, I'm sure the NFL was a shock to him coming to play in the AFC South, especially.
Yeah, man. Your speed slows down a lot.
Yeah.
Coming from Liberty to the NFL.
the thing that, like, I remember being in middle school, and I kind of realized, like, I go to high school games and these guys hit really hard, and the hard hitters from there go to college, and then the hardest hitters from college go to the NFL, and that's just all the best players in the world right there. So even the guy who couldn't be touched in college goes to the NFL, and it's like, whoa, all these guys are as fast as I am. So I think it's always a shock to guys. If you're not like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, those guys are freaks. But other than the most elite athletes, I think it just shock to everybody.
I looked it up a couple years ago just for my own entertainment, and it shocked me how many college players available there are to how many college players actually transition to the NFL.
Yeah.
And like how many available college players there are to how many actually get in the NFL, drafted and undrafted free agents alike. Yeah. And then most of the undrafted free agents don't make the teams. Yeah. And I was even counting those guys as they did make the team, like 90-man rosters for everybody.
Yeah.
But it was astonishing, the number. And it was like, yeah, that's why they're professional athletes, man. They are the most elite. Even the crappiest guy on the football team, Dennis Daly. As much as I love to joke about how crappy Dennis Daly is better than any tackle. I mean, I hate to say it, but he's better than any tackle on UT probably.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like that argument that people were having when Bama was dominating college football, winning national championships every 2 or 3 years or back to back, whatever. That argument where could they beat the Lions when the Lions went 0-16? No.
Nope.
No, they could not. Like, no, they couldn't. No college football team ever in existence could beat any NFL team ever in existence.
Absolutely.
Because there's just too much of a talent gap. It's impossible. And any NFL lineman would start on any NFL or any college football team. Like you said, if Dennis Daly can do it, anybody can do it. That guy was probably the worst of the worst last year. And he would start on any college football team in the NCAA. Yeah.
Yeah, and he would be good too. I mean, that's the crazy part. He wouldn't just be on the team. He would be good.
Right.
He'd be one of the best tackles in the league.
Yeah. So for any rookie coming into the NFL, man, it just has to be so much of a shock. You going against 21 and 22 or 18 to 22 year olds for unless you're Stetson Bennett and you're 25. No shade, Max. My bad.
Oh man.
I had to do it. But you're going against these guys that are young, and then you go against a 31-year-old who's been working out nonstop for 10 years straight. And this is his entire life. This is his job for 10 years now. And you got to go against that guy, man. Just like what's his name going up against I think it was Hubbard who went up against Jeff Simmons for the first time and was like, whoa. Yeah, that's a shock, man. Like,
yeah, that dude, it's a train, man. It's it's a whole different league. I mean, it really is. That's the difference between semi-pro and pro. I mean, even the XFL guys, I mean, we're talking about college kids, but these XFL guys, I mean, anybody from the NFL could go play on the XFL.
Oh yeah.
It's just the way it is. I mean,
practice squad.
Yeah, they literally pick up the scraps that we have, which is awesome. I love it.
I love it. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm not downgrading the XFL at all. I absolutely love that we have a minor league. I think it's great.
Yep.
I'm just pointing out the obvious that there's a difference between semi-pro and pro. Now, that's not to say that you can't go to the XFL, develop, and come back to the NFL and be successful.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea. So, but yeah, there's huge difference between the two. So, any predictions or hot takes?
My prediction is that Monty Rice is going to show out this entire preseason, and he's going to start at linebacker in week 1. That's my prediction. That's my hot take right there. I think Monty is going to be linebacker too. The guy's he's just all over the field, man. I don't see how you deny him. Like I said last week or Monday, if he was 6'3", we're talking about a top 10 linebacker in the NFL. He's 6 feet, so he's undersized, and that hurts him. But I hope Gibby does great too, like I said, and we can interchange him at any time. But I just think Monty's athleticism is unmatched as far as the linebacker position. So that's my hot take. Monty show out all preseason. He's going to be the starter week 1.
All right. I like that. My hot take is Tajay Spears is going to have 100 yards.
Tomorrow?
I
like it. I like it.
Now, that is all-purpose yards.
Okay.
So those could be got by returning. Those could be got receiving or rushing. But my hot take is Tajay Spears gets 100 yards. First ever NFL.
Who are we taking in the kicker battle? Who you got?
I personally like Trey Wolf.
That's who I'm rooting for.
I was going to say, I'm rooting for Trey Wolf, man. He's a big dude. And I mean, think about it for a second. We could have 2 successful rookie kickers. Or, well, not, Stonehouse isn't a rookie, but.
Yeah.
And their names would be Stonehouse and Wolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Plus, if you've seen the 2, like Shudak is what you think of when you think of a kicker. He's kind of a small guy.
Yeah.
Not in the best of shape. Trey Wolf looks like Stonehouse.
Yeah.
He's gigantic and he's muscular. And he doesn't look like a kicker at all. He looks like not that I can't wait. Let me rephrase that. I'll be interested to see the first time that somebody actually gets to return one of Stonehouse's kicks and gets all the way to Stonehouse.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how hard he hits somebody.
Yeah.
As big as he is, because I imagine he's going to waylay some of these defensive backs if they or returners if they actually get through the blocks.
Yeah, Trey Wolf, I think he's listed at 6'4", 205, man. So that's another linebacker back there on kickoffs too. So, man, you know me, and I love the specialists. So Stonehouse and Wolf, I'm making so many pictures out of that. And another thing too, though, that makes me not like Shudak.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, but
however you say it. He took number 6, and number 6 should be retired for the Titans. Brett Kern is an all-time great, and nobody should be wearing that number, especially a kicker who might not even make the team. My 2 cents there. I don't like it at all, so it automatically makes me not like him too much.
Yeah, I was already a Trey Wolf fan, but yeah, now you've solidified it because you've brought up that and made a very good point. Yeah, nobody should ever, as a special team player, you should not be, especially a kicker, you should not be able to wear 6 as a Titan. It should be retired. You're right. Kern was the master, and before him, Craig Hendrick. If you follow me, you've been watching my countdowns. My last 3, I think, or well, 4 actually were kickers, but the last 3 of them, all 3 kickers were in different time periods, and all 3 kickers, the holder was Craig Hendrick, which just shows how long he was our punter. I mean, we've been blessed at punter for so long. I mean, we were, I was going to say, to be honest, we really should thank our lucky stars that we are blessed at punter, and maybe we should just be happy with an average kicker, I guess. I don't know, but no, I want great everything. But
well, anyway, a kicker is, you should be making kicks if you're in the NFL. It shouldn't be that hard of a job to find a good kicker. Like, dude, your entire job is to kick a ball through uprights, and you get paid way more than the average person gets paid. I don't care if it's $1 million. If you only make $1 million, like, bro, your job is to kick a ball all day. You don't even really have to condition that much. Don't get me started.
You have one job.
You have one job. Yeah, it's like,
I think people devalue kickers, and honestly, it's a problem because just like with the running back thing, I think, it'll get to a point to where it becomes a problem, just like the kicker situation is. I mean, if somebody's got a good leg, they're honestly, they're playing soccer.
Yeah.
Just being real. We get leftover soccer players because we don't pay nearly as much as the soccer. I mean, even a crappy soccer player gets paid way more than an NFL kicker, the best NFL kicker.
Yeah.
And we've had such good kickers over our history that it's actually insane. When I started doing the countdown and I started looking at all the different kickers that we've had, I was kind of taken aback. I was like, wow, man, we have really been blessed there. No wonder we're so upset because we're not used to it. We're not used to having bad kick. We're used to, all right, we're within the 30-yard line. We're at least getting 3 points, man.
Yeah.
But that's not been the case since Ryan Suckup, Suckup left. That is really, I mean,
like to say RIP to the GOAT, Rob Baronis. That's my favorite kicker,
man.
For sure.
I was gonna say, dude, I met him twice, and he was such a cool, just normal dude. I mean, you meet some of these players and you can tell they have like this bravado about them, and that's cool, man. I mean, that's how you got there, probably, was having a chip on your shoulder, and go for it. You do you. But I just love it when you come across, a football player who's just like, your everyday average dude, treats you like an everyday average dude. They're like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" It's like, well, I'm here to watch you. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, Rob was just a really cool guy, and I hate that it ended the way it did. That really sucked.
Yeah, that was awful. Yeah, rest in peace for sure.
All right, so I think we've pretty much covered everything. Except returner. Well, we did kind of talk about returner a little bit, but anybody special you want to see return besides Spears? Oh, you said Kyrus Jackson.
Yeah, Kyrus Jackson. I'm excited to see him. I'd like to see what he can do, man. His burst looks a lot better than his 40 time did. His 40 time, I think, was like a 4.51, something like that. But watching him on the field, his foot speed and his burst looks way more than that. So just off the eye test alone, I would really like to see him back there. I want to see somebody who can break a kick. Like a kick returner is one thing. Punt returner, I want to see somebody who can catch the ball. Like I said before, like I need somebody who can just catch it and get our offense on the field and not muff it. Kick returner, however, I would like to see somebody who's going to make it exciting again and not just take it to the 23 or 24-yard line and go down like a sack of potatoes every time they get touched. So anybody who's explosive, who can do that, that's who I would like to see back there. I do want to be excited about seeing a kick returned again.
Yeah, if the NFL can lay off the rules that are impeding kickoffs.
Yeah.
Sorry, man, you weren't a part of the podcast at that point yet. You hadn't gotten with the groove yet. But yeah, me and Flame talked about that and how I was extremely upset when they released the news that they were changing the rules on the kickoffs or whatever. And I was like, man, they're just trying to take the kickoff away. I mean, you say you like the XFL.
Yeah.
If you watch the XFL, man, their kickoff rules, they not only are making it safer for the players by holding them there until the ball is received, but they're also making them put it outside the end zone. So you have to return it. So there is a return every single time. But they're also, like I said, making it safer for the players because they're holding those players there. You don't get guys that are up to full speed by the time they get to a guy who is just starting to run. That's where the heavy collisions come in. I mean, two full speed guys hitting each other, but that is a pretty rare instance. We've seen it a couple times, but it's pretty rare, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my whole 2 cents on that. I'm sorry I went off on my little rant about the kickoffs, but
no, I mean I agree with you on. I love the way the XFL does it, but what I would like to see, if the NFL is going to adopt something like that, let's get an NFL version of that. Because like we said before, the XFL is basically the NFL's minor league system. That's what they're working into trying to be, the spring football NFL. So if we're going to do that, let's make it an NFL rules more physical than that, at least, because what I don't want to see is guys bringing the ball out to the 40-yard line every time and offense is having this short field. And then all of a sudden defense is going to be way harder and stats just get all misconstrued and stuff. And that's not what I want. Honestly, I want the kickoff back to what it was before. I mean, I understand CTE and we have to be more careful with players and we don't want them getting hurt, but I want the kickoffs back. I want football back to what it was whenever we were in love with it, what it was for over 100 years. That's what I want. And then, we'll go from there, but it's not going to happen, but that's what I would want. And if it's not going to happen and we need to make it safer, let's at least make an NFL version of what the XFL does.
I mean, let's be honest, man. Some of our better players have been returners, and they wouldn't have even got a chance if they hadn't had that return ability. Mark Mariani, for a good example, was a very serviceable wide receiver. I'm not going to say he was great, but he was a very serviceable wide receiver. He was a great returner. Very. You know what I mean? And Pac-Man Jones.
Yeah.
He was a decent cornerback, but he wasn't a good cornerback. He was an amazing returner, though.
Yeah.
That dude had fire on his skates, man.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. And I agree with that.
We're playing the Bears tomorrow. Devin Hester. Devin Hester's the greatest return man to ever live. And honestly, though, if he plays in today's NFL, can he do what he did then? I don't think so, because the rules are they're completely different, and their return men aren't nearly as serviceable as they used to be. Like you said, I mean, as Mark Mariano was serviceable as a wide receiver, now return men are just there to catch the ball and bring the offense out. So.
Yeah, I mean, one that's in our modern day time is Cordell Patterson.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, they've kind of turned him into a running back, sort of gadgety player or whatever, but that dude would not have lasted as a wide receiver in the NFL had he not had such amazing return ability. Period.
Yeah.
It's just a fact. So there you go, NFL. Don't take our returns away. And yes, you're absolutely right, Corinne. He did. That was his fault. So real quick though, I do want to bring up. Did you see the news about Buster Skrine?
Yeah, that was hilarious, dude. I died laughing when I saw that, and they didn't even mention that he was a former Titans player. So I was like, all right,
that's exactly what I said. They had him in Bear stuff. They talked about it being on the Bear. I was like, they didn't even mention the Titans. Yep. Sweet, we got it.
But that was nuts, though, man. He scammed banks across Canada for over $100,000.
Yeah.
All right.
Apparently, he ran a bunch of Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes right after he got out of college. I guess the whole time he's in the NFL, he's been running these money schemes or whatever. I don't know. This is all alleged, but and then allegedly he ran to Canada as soon as he retired from the NFL, which that actually is pretty much, from what I can tell online, factual. He did go to Canada almost immediately after he retired from the NFL, but now he's running from Canada, that kind of backs up everything that everybody else is saying about what he was doing in college. So I would not want to be Buster Skrine right now.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, all right. So that's pretty much the show. Anything else you want to add, Tyler, before we jump off here tonight?
I do want to talk about our potential offensive line trade targets. I want to hear if you have anybody in mind, because I've got two in mind that might just stir the pot a little bit with our AFC South buddies. So I have three actually, but two realistic ones, and another that I would love to see that's never going to happen. So I would like to hear yours if you have any that you would like to see?
I honestly, I'm not a huge proponent of trading, simply because it takes away from draft capital. I
Yeah.
just hate it. I absolutely hate it. Like the Julio Jones trade, and
Yeah.
anytime you trade for a player, it doesn't matter even if they're, like Julio Jones, washed up and trash, basically. You're gonna pay draft picks, and anything above a 6th round nowadays. I mean, even the 6th rounds are doing stuff. So I mean, I don't know. I just hate it. But let's hear who you've got.
All right. So first, my most realistic option that we have, just say MPF is not going to be what we need him to be. Tristan Wirfs from Tampa Bay. He's actually in his contract year this year, and Tampa Bay is probably going to be garbage, and they're going to be looking for draft capital. Right tackle from Tampa Bay have been solid, top 10 lineman in the NFL. The guy, that's probably the most realistic. All right. So now, Laramie Tunsil,
Okay.
Texans guy. We love our Texans guys. If we could get him, I would take him. It's a high price to pay, both in salary and in draft picks. But you talk about a left tackle who would shore up this offensive line. That's my second one. Now, the one that really is going to bother some people because they are going to suck this year, and they're going to suck for a while. Quentin Nelson from the Indianapolis Colts is going to be on the trade market this year, more than likely, because they're gonna be bad. They're not going to be good. So they're a dumpster fire of an organization right now. I hate the Colts, but Quentin Nelson, that's the guy right there, man. I think we could swing him. I don't know that we'll need him, depending on how Skoronski turns out and depending on how Brunskill turns out with us. But Quentin Nelson would be that guy, man. That would be amazing to get him.
I would agree with that. I would agree. Either one of those guys, yes. The only problem with it is, just as I mentioned, draft capital, blah, blah, blah. But they're in our conference, or I mean our division. Excuse me. They're in our division. So if we do trade with them, they're going to want more for that player than, say, Kansas City would, because Kansas City doesn't have to play us twice a year every year.
That's
so they
true.
don't want to be making our team better. So to get a player from them is going to cost more than it would from another team. I absolutely, like I said before, I don't like trades because it takes away from our draft pick. I absolutely hate interdivisional trades because they rarely work out to our benefit. They usually work out to whatever team is trading the player away's benefit.
Yeah, in the long run, maybe.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if we were to, like, say Indy came to us with two first round draft picks for Derrick Henry.
Well, yeah.
As a GM, you got to say, pull the trigger on that. I mean, I'm not an idiot,
right.
But man, to trade him away to Indianapolis.
Oh, it would hurt. It would hurt us.
That's what I'm saying, though. I mean, like, how much? If Indianapolis came to you and said, all right, I'm going to give you a 2nd round draft pick for Derrick Henry, that's way higher than he should get. But no, you can't have him.
Yeah.
No, not you. Yeah. Not you. I'm not playing against Derrick Henry twice a year every year.
Right.
But, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You're going to have to end up paying like almost double for what that player would normally cost on another team because he's on your division rivals. Yeah. Unless, Jim Irsay is your owner. Because then he might just be crazy enough, because he's very Jerry Jones-ish.
Yeah.
And he might just be crazy enough to be like, let's just do it, man. Let's just let him have it. I don't care.
I'm not sure who the Texans owner is.
Bob McNair.
Yeah, but that's right. He can't be that smart of an owner. They're just. I mean,
he's trying.
He's trying, but badly.
He's trying. I mean, I give the Texans credit. I really do. I hate on all my division rivals. Jacksonville. Everybody knows I hate Indianapolis.
I hate all three equally.
But
no, I hate the Colts the most.
No, I was gonna say I hate the Colts the most, man.
Yeah.
But Texans actually, not only do their fans seem to be usually more level-headed and more cool than Jacksonville fans or Indy fans, but I just respect their team more. I respect the organization more. Like right now, look what they're doing. They're probably going to have a top 10 defense. They got D'Amico Ryans as their head coach, who reminds me a lot of Mike Vrabel.
Former Bama guy, by the way.
D'Amico Ryans. Yeah, dude. I think they're on their way. I think they're starting to turn the corner. And I think that, to be honest, instead of Jacksonville next year, people will be talking about who's going to win the division between the Titans and the Texans. Because I just think that the Texans I think they're going to be surprising. And I hate to give any of my divisional guys credit, especially ones that have been really annoying me lately on social media. But if I'm being real and I'm being honest, the Texans are probably our biggest threat in the division, other than Jacksonville. Obviously, I have to give them some credit.
See, I think the Texans are on their way up, but look how long it's taken them to get to this point. That's kind of the point I was making with that. Is their owner let slide a DeAndre Hopkins trade that was for horrible capital. Like, you could have gotten 2 first-round picks for that guy, and I think they got a second and a sixth or something like that. Nothing basically for DeAndre Hopkins. So and there was another trade that happened around the same time that was horrible like that. And so it's set them back like 5 years. So what I need them to do is go ahead and slide us Laremy Tunsil for a third, maybe a fourth, and let's call it a day. And keep your rebuild going, man. You need draft capital. Let us get Laremy Tunsil. We'll give you a third and a fourth, and we'll go on from there. No, I mean, I really said those two just to stir the pot. Tristan Wirfs, though, I really do think is a legitimate option for right tackle, and I think he could play left tackle if you threw him over there. He's huge, quick, and he's solid. And he protected Tom Brady to a Super Bowl as a rookie. So that guy's he's a monster, and this is his contract year. They picked up his option, his rookie option. This is his 5th year going into it, so we'll see. He's 24 and he's an all-pro caliber player. So that's a guy I would give up a first-round pick for right there. If we could lock him in, I would give that up.
Oh man, I was just about to say I'd give a second round for him, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way: if we say we go to the Super Bowl, win it or not, our first-round pick is going to be a 31 or 32. If I can get an all-pro right tackle or left tackle for a first-round pick that's a number 31 or 32, I'm taking it every time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you sold me on that. That's the smart business deal, man. Yeah. No, you just had to say it like that. Yeah. Because next year we're going to pick probably an offensive lineman with our first draft pick anyway. And yeah, if he's playing at an all-pro level right now and he's 25 or 24, whatever. Yeah. Sold. Yeah, no, you sold me. That's all you had to say, man. Good job. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up today?
No, man. I'm extremely ready for 12 o'clock tomorrow or 1 Eastern, whichever time zone you're in. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play myself. So I would die. Don't get me wrong, but I'm ready to go.
Oh, man, I've got my jamborees tomorrow, and they got a split, and we're doing 2 games, one at like 10:30 in the morning and one at 7:30 at night.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my whole day tomorrow is going to be filled with football. And it's going to be football with kids, football Titans, and then some more football with kids.
You got to love it. What age group do you coach?
9 to 11.
9 to 11. Okay. I was 12U. So I'm taking the year off this year. I had to. I gotta chill. My nephew, he's 13 now. He's playing middle school football. So I'm not coaching this year. I'm taking the year off. I got the baby coming in a couple months.
I understand. Yeah.
We're gonna be busy enough as it is.
Yeah, I was gonna take the year off, but I was told no. So,
Yeah,
and I'm happy about it, to be honest. I didn't think I would have time to do it. And I didn't want, I'm one of these really committed dudes. And if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to like do it 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can put 100% of myself into it. But if they're like, oh no, we're cool with 75%, just bring 75% and you're good. So, all right, if 75% is good, then cool, let's roll. That's all I got right now. But all right, yeah, great show. Guys, expect these on Fridays. I know today was kind of a surprise, and I was really busy at work. I didn't have time to put up any promos or anything like that for the video, which is why you didn't get any kind of a, warning that this show was coming. But expect these. This is our preseason. We're just like the NFL. This is our first season doing these shows, so we're kind of growing and learning as we do them. So bear with us. But hopefully by the season gets here, by the time the season gets here, we'll be rolling with these like smooth as butter. But tonight, that's going to do it for us. Tyler, tell them where they can find you at, man.
At Titan_always22, the Ryan Stonehouse Stan account, baby. You heard me talk about it. We show love to the specialist, one of the best punters, if not the best punter in the NFL. Shout out to the GOAT, Brett Kern. Give me a follow. I'm here. That was me too. Brett Kern Stan account. All on Twitter, man. Or X. My bad. X.
No. I refuse Twitter.
I hate it. It's Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's Twitter, man. They even still have RT on there, so no, it's Twitter. And it's repost, so that doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah,
but
none at all.
Everybody knows. First of all, I'd like to say, if you're out there and you're watching, please watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That really helps us out. Give us a thumbs up on every video. That would be cool. That really helps us out. But you can always find me, Maximus Titan Fan, pretty much anywhere: Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. And Titans Fan Battle Podcast. We're on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. So there you go, guys. Get to following, like, subscribe. Sharing is caring. Thank you and good night.
Tighten up, y'all.